What's up, guys? Tabletop Vibes, and today we are taking a look at Wyrmspan. You may all know this. It's pretty the rage right now. It's really hot, and you might know it from its predecessor, Wingspan. And so, what are the differences? Which one do we like more? Which one do you guys like more? Let's talk about it. So, starting off, got Wyrmspan and a Wingspan. We're going to talk about Wyrmspan first. So, Wyrmspan, alright, as you can tell, it's not birds anymore, it's dragons. Love the theme. Dragons. Dragons always get me. I love dragons. Fantasy world is awesome. So, inside Wyrmspan, you have now your cavern cave board where you have the amethyst abyss, the something grotto, and another cave. Red, yellow, and purple. Alright, and so you get to excavate these caves to put your dragons in. You also entice your dragons with meat and gold and amethysts and milk, if they're hatchlings, to come into your cave and settle and nest there. They also lay eggs. You know, because why not? And so in the game, you have your setup kind of like normal Wingspan feel, where everybody sets up their player board, but now you have a couple different other mechanics that are inside Wyrmspan that kind of changes it up. You have a guild board, which is pretty fun. So you have little shield tokens, and they go around the guild board, and while you move the guild board, depending on certain areas, which we'll talk about, then you get to collect more resources. There's also different rewards that you can get, if it's a rainforest, if it's the desert, there's like 4 or 5 different boards you can put into the middle of the board to change up what you get throughout the game. 4 rounds, and at the end of 4 rounds, whoever has the most victory points is the Dragon Conqueror Wyrmspan champion, or what have you. And so you kind of set it up. There's another kind of cool mechanic, though. You get to adventure. You have a little adventure guy. He's really cool looking, and he can traverse through the caves, unlocking, gaining goods, cards, caves that you can put down, because you have to have a cave that's excavated before you can let your dragon settle. And so you're just chugging along through the cave. There's also little stop signs. If you didn't cover the stop sign, you have to stop. Who knew? You have to stop at stop signs. But the more you drill through your cave and traverse and excavate, that's the word I was searching for, you then can go farther with your explorer, gaining more and more stuff. So it's really heavy on the engine aspect of it, which I think is really great. So in Wingspan, it kind of like you have a lot to do, and as the rounds come, you lose cards and you're losing more actions because it's starting to get really, really tight. So the cool part about Wyrmspan, at least that I feel, is that you are gaining more and more abilities as it goes along, because certain dragons, if they're in certain areas, give you certain things, and then you have these little hatchling dragons that they're super cool. You have to feed them by milk, and then you also have to they'll do a lot of things for you, but they're expensive and they're hard to find and or get out sometimes. So you have small dragons, medium dragons, large dragons, like any standard dragon rustler. So, and hatchlings. So, you are playing on the guild board, you have the round tracker, and then you have new cave cards, cavern cards, which I was talking about. You excavate inside your cave so that you can place your dragon, so then that your adventurer can continue to go farther. And the art is amazing. I mean, I thought Wingspan was great. Don't get me wrong, it was a good game. Dragons, for me, just makes the world better. I love it. And the art is cool. One of them, which I'll probably try to find and show, is a tiger dragon. He just looks cool because I like tigers and I like dragons, and you just mesh them together. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's super cool. I mean, again, do you need to have Wyrmspan if you have Wingspan? I don't think so, but why not? It's fun. You have the people who love the birds, and there's all the expansions, right? Which is a great game, and the resources. But this one, you have to roll a die for the resources. Here is more you choose what you want, even though you don't always know what dragons are coming, right? Because you don't get dragons every round unless your engine does gives you more dragons. You get an egg every round and 6 coins. The coins are like actions pretty much that you can take. If you can manipulate being able to get more of those, or playing combos so you can play free dragons or free caves, like that's the strategy, trying to do more without paying any money. I mean, that's what we all want in life, right? Well, so do the dragons. So, yeah, Wingspan's great. For me, Wyrmspan is better. And so, again, it comes down to preference, it comes down to theme, it comes down to if you're a purist and this is what you like. I honestly thought that this was going to be a reskin. I'm so glad that it's not a reskin because it's great. I've played 3 times already. I love it. I've lost every single time. Super. So I got to get better. And then the other thing there is too is objectives in Wyrmspan every round that you can try to get. So, do you have the most small dragons? Do you have the most eggs? Do you have the most whatever it is? You have all these different kind of ones that you can cycle out through the game each time you play to give it more replayability. And the dragon deck is massive. You feel like you're playing Arc Nova with all of the stuff, which could be good for you or bad. But I think that having a lot of dragons is fun because hopefully you don't get the same dragon twice, or maybe you do. But having more dragons is never a bad thing. Ask How to Train Your Dragon. There's tons of those guys. They're flying around. Everybody loves it. So, this is Wyrmspan. Again, I don't know. I just really, really like it. It's very easy to teach, especially if you already know Wingspan. And if you don't know Wingspan, it's still an easy teach because the mechanics are simple. I mean, Stonemeyer even labels the board, like player mat, guild tracker. I mean, you can't get any better than that. And the reference cards are nice. The art's beautiful. And the board folds and opens and looks nice. I mean, it's an easy teach. You can play it pretty fast, especially once you know it. You can probably play this game hour and a half. It plays 5 if you really want to get crazy and have tons of dragon wrestlers and rustlers around, getting all your dragons out. Get a dragon party. I mean, it's great. It plays good at 2. It plays good at 3. I haven't played it at 4 or 5 yet. I plan to. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to. It's a great game. It's a ton of fun. So definitely let me know if you're a Wingspan or you're a Wyrmspan and what your thoughts are. Yeah, hopefully you found this entertaining, helpful, and maybe you love dragons as much as I and you just own both copies because why not? I'm TabletopVibes. Thanks for watching.